Hey there, welcome to Real Life on the Homestead in Ontario, and I'm Marie. And yep, I'm in the kitchen. It's fall and it is canning season. Just cleaned out the freezers and I'm going to be showing you a bunch of stuff I'm going to do with meat that I need to get processed. I'm going to can up meals in a jar. Watch those. We're coming up with some really great meals in a jar. Just open up a jar, warm it up, and you're good to go. Really helps when you're busy. Guess what? I've ripened tons of green tomatoes and I still have more. The cool weather has just not allowed our tomatoes to ripen. But I thought, instead of ripening more, which I've shown you on another video and it'll be in the description box on how to ripen your tomatoes. But what I'm going to do today is make some salsa verde. It's a Mexican go-to seasoning. And one of my canned jar meals is chicken with salsa verde. And I'm running out. So I thought, you know what? Perfect time. I'm going to make some and I'm going to show you how to do it. Instead of tomatillos, which is the normal acidic fruit that you add to your salsa verde, you can also use green tomatoes and it's just as good. So today I'm gonna do about 10 pounds. I've weighed out my basket and I've got 10 pounds of San Marzano and Roma tomatoes. I've got a few cherry tomatoes, but not very many because I've used those up. Got some Romas, some San Marzanos, some cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna use some onions, some garlic, some jalapenos, some cilantro, and we're gonna make an incredible roasted salsa verde. So stay tuned, today's gonna be fun. And the kitchen is gonna smell amazing. Well, I'm totally eye-watering from chopping my onions, but let me show you what I've got ready to go. I've got my tomatoes on a sheet pan, and I've actually had to use 2 sheet pans. This one has tomatoes, onions, and garlic. I've sprinkled some jalapenos over, but I didn't have very many. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I have any more in the freezer. If I don't, then what I'm going to do is when I'm ready to roast it, I'll add some of my cowboy candy that I have. So the point of this process right now is to get these in the oven at 425 for 15 minutes to start charring them. At the 15-minute mark, I'm going to remove my garlic. I don't want to burn my garlic. And I'm gonna toss everything around and go another 15 minutes. Now what I have here, and do not hold me to quantities on this one. I have 10 pounds of tomatoes. I've done 4 onions that I've quartered, and I've got 3 heads of garlic. Do it as whatever flavors you need. I don't understand why my little puppy keeps going behind me. Jersey, what are you looking for? You have food right there. You just want to be in the video, right? Okay. So anyway, so I'm going to get this into the oven, 425 for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we're going to remove that garlic, switch the pans around, and go another 15 minutes. Our 15-minute mark is up, and as you can see, this is what I'm looking for. Some charring on the tomatoes and the onions, and we are going to remove that garlic. So this recipe here is my own recipe. I have traveled to Mexico extensive amounts of times. I've tasted foods in different regions. Everybody has their own spin on everything, as they do with every other country. But my base, where I started with this recipe, comes out of the Ball Canning book. And on page 167 is roasted salsa verde. Of course, it's asking for tomatillos, and it does have some measurements for you to start with. But I've taken this and I've tweaked it to my liking. substituting, first of all, the tomatillos for green tomatoes. So now I'm going to get those roasted onions, tomatoes, jalapenos out of the oven, and we're gonna start this up. Folks, I am so sorry that you cannot smell what's going on in here. So I have my roasted onions and tomatoes. Yeah, I'm keeping my gloves on. They're friggin' hot, and so's the sheet pan. So right out of the oven into my stainless steel pot. Now you could use an oven roaster for this, you know, a turkey roaster. I find that if I'm doing, I guess it would be 10 pounds of tomatoes, this pot works great. If you're doing a double batch, yeah, you may want something bigger. Trying to make this work here. Don't forget, I'm blending all this down. I did not have any more jalapenos in the freezer. And that's not a big issue because I had canned so many. So this is my canned jalapenos. Cowboy candy, some people call it. I don't make it sweet, so I can't call it cowboy candy. It is pickled jalapenos. And I'm just gonna throw a bunch in because that's the flavor I'm looking for. So that works. Then our roasted garlic that we took out at that 15-minute mark. Jersey, I'm gonna need to get you out of the kitchen. Go, get out of here. You're disturbing me. To this, I'm going to add of lime juice. Now, I like to squeeze my limes fresh for doing these kind of recipes because I do find it makes a huge difference. But just to prepare, I did squeeze some ahead of time. So I'm adding 1 cup. It is 1 cup for 10 pounds of tomatoes. Then your seasoning is gonna be based on your taste. I like a tablespoon of black pepper. This is our black pepper that Jamie grinds for me in advance. And I'm gonna do a good heaping tablespoon of my pink Himalayan salt. That's my preferred salt for canning. I was in the freezer clearing out and I have a bunch of green onions and I think they will make great flavors. So in there they go. I'm going to add in a handful of cilantro. Now, this is my frozen cilantro. I put it in bags so I can access it when I need it. And I'm gonna call that about 3/4 of a cup. Throw that back in the freezer. If I don't zip my bags right away, I forget and then they end up spilling. Now, one thing I've added to my recipe that is not in the book is ground cumin. And I do 2 heaping tablespoons. It is widely used in Mexico in the Salsa Verde, and I noticed it wasn't in the recipe, so I'm throwing that in there. So I got salt, pepper, my cumin. I've got some more. I've got another lime here, so I'm gonna use it up. Whoa, let's not make that go flying. It does smell really good in here. So I'm just gonna mix this up. And to get it going, oh, scent coming off of this. Holy smokes, it's good. To get this going, I'm gonna use my Immersion blender. And for this, I am going to use my high-powered Vita mix because I want to get through it easy. You could throw this in a blender or food processor. I just know that this blender works so well and it'll get me going. there we go. This is nicely blended. So this is going on the stovetop for 15 minutes, and then we'll come and check. Well, our salsa is now simmering beautifully. It's at temperature. The consistency is exactly how I like it. And I've just checked to make sure that there's no big chunks of tomato or onion that I had missed. But no, it's all well blended. So let's get this into some jars, and we are going to water bath can to make it shelf stable. I really wish that YouTube did have scent videos because this smells so amazing. I am just gonna pack my jars. I like to use the 500 milliliter jars or pint jars because that's a good amount for me. Leaving 1 inch headspace like that. And I am going to seal these up to water bath. Now with the water bath, I'm gonna put them into hot water. And once it gets to a roaring boil, then I'm gonna start counting, and it's gonna be 20 minutes. I will do a few, just half pint, which is 125 milliliters, just to have for, you know, a recipe that I would need a smaller amount. Okay, this is super easy. Anybody can do this. All you gotta do is use up those green tomatoes and make an amazing, amazing treat. Now, if you're a chip eater, this goes amazing on chips. I know that everybody's used to the red salsa for chips, but I tell you, this stuff rocks. So I want you to go out, save those green tomatoes. Don't let them go to waste. Enjoy your day. It's beautiful out. I hope it's beautiful where you are. And we'll see you next time. Please make sure that you share this video with your friends. It really helps us. And like, subscribe if you haven't already done so. So stay tuned for lots of adventures to come. Have a great day. Live your best life.